Welcome back to WOW's Operation Replays, my loyal subscribers. And we're back. We're doing another Back to the Basics called Spotting Wins the Match. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have either played World of Warships or have heard from other players that said, I'm not getting enough spotting, or spotting. No one's spotting, so I can't kill these guys. Spotting is critical to any match. Sometimes spotting outweighs getting kills. And I think this is one of the matches where you're really like, okay. Yeah, it wasn't the best display of torpedo power, but that's why we already have a tech line on Shiryatsu from last reset about power for the Shiryatsu. We're doing back to the basics this time. I know Back to the Basics may seem like a program that you don't need to watch or listen to, but the sad thing is, a lot of the basics in World of Warships are forgotten. People just bum rush all the way to the tier 8s, tier 10s, play ops, do this, do that, and they forget the basics. The best World of Warship players, all their knowledge is founded on a set of basics. And that's what we'd like to cover in this program, is the basics. Now, looking at the team, we are top tier, so that's always a good sign. And I outspot the majority of these DDs. I think the Akatsuki is 6.1. The only one that close to me is the Mitsuki. We spot the Pensy, and we do know that the Pensy is in a division with the Mitsuki. So wherever the Pensy is, we know where the Mitsuki is. And he and I both roughly have about the same detection. But I have more health than he would as a tier 5. So if I have to, I can gun him down. I asked the Nicholas for support because I'm like, I don't know what could be in here. If there's 2 DDs in here, I'm screwed. Cap gets contested, we know something's here. Mitsuki pops up. We shoot. Again, he only has 9,000 HP. We get a 2k hit on him. Stalker hits him for about 3k. Merc hits him for a little bit, and then I finish him off. So, for the loss of about 4,000 HP, I took 4,000 HP, but their DD is dead. Now they're down, their stealthiest DD is gone. So, that gives us a huge point advantage. And it'll come into effect later in the match. If you can get maybe 1 DD down at the beginning of the match, like that DD didn't live more than 2.5 minutes. And half that time was spent getting into the position. In terms of combat, once he got into combat, he died. So, that comes into effect. Again, I know my torps aren't the longest. Yes, but there are ships going through there. You never know if something's going to come through there. Sometimes you might get lucky. Again, torps can also be an area of denial tool. We spot the Farragut. Again, probably isn't running concealment or anything, because you spotted about 7.1 from what I saw. So we don't have to worry about, because we outspot him. Again, we back up. He's spotted. Now, if I had probably dropped my torps, gone forward, and dropped him more at an angle, I probably could have got this Farragut. I did drop torps. I'm like, maybe he might back up, because New York is charging into him. Because ideally, you might want to back up as a DD. So you never know. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You never know. But they are down 2 DDs. They've lost the Akatsuki and the Mitsuki. Again, 2 DDs down, and we're not even 5 minutes in. That goes a huge portion of their spotting. The New York on their team goes down. They've lost a huge amount of power. Now we're 300 points ahead of these guys. We do barely miss the Farragut. Barely. Just barely miss the guy. Our New York is charging in. I don't know why. I think that was a mistake on his part. But the Farragut does leave. And now we're getting our points back. Our New York is going to go down there. He's just charging in there against all those ships. And he dies to a flood. Again, that's very unfortunate. He didn't have to do that. Congo's coming out. Normally you would think, okay, the Congo wouldn't charge into a B point if you know there's a DD there. That easily outspots you. Easily outspots you, right? We drop Torps. Maybe he'll go, because it looks like he is going to turn out. Although I think when I was aiming at the Nicholas and not so much the Farragut. But he could easily turn back out. I've seen battleships turn and then do a complete U-turn. But he's full health. He isn't going dark because we're detecting him. He goes dark because of the smoke screen. But then we respot him because I think something else spotted him. But we're getting all the spotting damage on this guy now. Now the smoke is slowly fading for him, and he will get permanent. But we're also going to get detected right about now. We're at 28,000 spotting damage. We take a little bit of a chunk, but then we go undetected. And again, since we're the one mostly spotting this battleship, we get all that spotting damage on him. And it's just slowly racking up. Again, but unfortunately we turn back in and we end up inside his detection range. So, and there's two cruisers coming around that corner, so it's not looking good for us. But you do see his health is going down. Stalker, the Leander, everyone is shooting this guy. And we're still getting that spotting damage. He's got two fires burning. He's going down. Aoba shoots, misses. New Orleans shoots, and misses. We got lucky. Real lucky. We're still in a lead by only, like, not a huge margin. It's enemy can still win if they play their cards right. They've got a major cruiser advantage, and now they have a slight BB advantage now. But the DD advantage that we had, killing the Mitsuki and their Akatsuki, has really started to show for this team. Because they don't have that extra spotting, and that torp power is gone. So that really is starting to affect them coming into this last 10 minutes of the match. Because you're starting to see that the more DDs you can get down, the quicker, and losing that spotting for the enemy team, it starts to really affect. As the ship's getting lower and stuff gets more stretched, and well, the scores get close like this, and if you can spot these guys that are just like these two cruisers just sitting in the middle, and your team can shoot them, that's great. And the Nicholas doesn't have to go out there. There is no reason for him to go out there. Legitimately. He can just fall back. Again, all these cruisers are basically being spotted by me. So any damage they take goes to me. The Rook is coming in. We are close to detection on that Aoba. We do lose the Iron Duke, and they go up in points. We drop torps on Iron Duke. Again, that Aoba is right on the other side of that island. If he had come around that corner, could have severely mauled us. But he also knows coming around that corner would be a suicide thing because, well, there's a whole team here that could blap him out of existence, so he really can't. We see that the Galicia is going to go for the B cap. And they're a lead. They're in the lead by 50 points. Now we're up to 63,000 spotting damage. 1 cap. Torps on the Rook. We get 1 Torp. We get it on the back end. That's a flood. He has to DCP that flood. He can't. And then you see he's popping a heal. So now he's susceptible to fire and everything. And the points are like exceptionally close. And we're almost at 80,000 spotting damage. He takes a really good hit. And I think between the Leander and I, we kind of both got that damage. But again, he's being spotted and he can't go dark. He nukes our Koningsberg, so they gain a 130-point lead over us. That's pretty significant. Now we're going to lose the beast cap, so we're going to lose the point lead even more. Like I said, they had a chance to pull it back. But with the Rook beached, if he goes down, they lose that small point lead. The Belarus picks him up and drops the points back down. And I'm like, asking him to defend that point. Because he's sitting there. Now, our Torps are going in on that smoke because there's ships in that smoke. There could be the New Orleans, there could be the Farragut. Maybe we might hit the Aoba. You never know what we could hit. We get 1 Torp for, looks like about 8,000. For about 8,000 or so. We do pick up Combat Scout and we approach 90,000 spotting damage. Again, Torps look decent on the Heinrich. He's only at half health, so it doesn't take much. May only take 2 Torps, 3 Torps. Even 2 Torps will do the job. He takes 1, and then he turns back in and takes a 2nd Torp. So he takes 20,000 damage right there. Again, he has to burn his DCP because he was flooding. Again, you also see that there are so many ships that are so low health. The Heinrich, the Aoba, and the New Orleans are all low HP ships. You've all been in matches where there are where there are so many low health targets, and your team just can't get these guys down. But in this match, we do get these guys down. The Heinrich has a fire on him. Plus, I'm spotting him. We're up to 94 spotting damage. None of these weak ships are going dark. Merc picks up Confederate, and Stalker picks up Confederate. The Belarus deletes the Galarisi, and that Heinrich's beached. Again, I'm spotting him. I'm not going to shoot. He's outside the cap, so I can capture that point back. We are in the lead now. Once the Heinrich goes down, we're going to gain the point lead again. Stalker picks up the Helena, or the Heinrich with his Helena, and, well, we're in the lead. We now have almost a 100-point lead on them. We have a 100-point lead on these guys, and we're going to get C back. The Belarus is really low. And the Pinsy does have a huge health advantage. So odds are he will die. But he just has to buy time. Now you see that the Farragut only has 350 HP. I'm guessing that that one torp that we did hit, that went out there, hit him. He shoots. I don't know why. Stalker or Merc shoots and picks him up. Right there and then, we've basically won the match. I mean, we already kind of did, but you did see they had a little bit of a time to win the match, a tiny bit of chance. They just couldn't go that extra mile. The spotting started to affect them, and just they couldn't go that extra step. Now we do see that Stalker is at 4 kills. He's gonna get his Kraken, hopefully. Now in terms of getting Krakens, they're just status things anymore. It's nice to get a Kraken every now and then, because usually sometimes Krakens are well earned, sometimes they're not. But a Kraken is always nice to get. It used to mean something when they had flags attached to them, not anymore. Now, again, in terms of armor scheme, the Pinsy does get 203s. Helena only gets 152s, but the Pinsy doesn't overmatch the Helena with those guns. So he can just tank the Pinsy and just shoot HE. He out DPMs them. Leander's trying to steal it. It's getting pretty close. He's trying to steal it, that Leander. And Stalker picks up his Kraken, and we pick up a coordinated Kraken. So, end screen, a little bit of credits, 13,000 base XP, 707 free XP, 2 general offensives, strike team, combat scout, coordinated Kraken, and first blood. We only did 50,000 damage, but we picked up 2 caps. Now in terms of score, we're at the top of the team with 2137. Stalker is second with 1637, and well, Merc is third with 1396. But you do see, though, that the spotting really did come into effect at the later end. You see that the Mitsuki, the Akatsuki, and the Farragut are all pretty low on the enemy team. So the enemy team lost their torp power, and they lost their spotting. Spotting is a huge, thing. Now, see, we did get 1 torp hit on the Farragut. So it was about 9,000 from that 1 torp hit. So that really helped Merc out. And then it was just kind of mediocre damage. We didn't really do hardly anything. But in terms of spotting damage, we did 98,000. Now for top tier 7, that's actually quite a bit. And you see that a huge part of that was on really cruisers and battleships. Some of their highest tier ships, New Orleans, Rook. Yeah, New Orleans, Rook, Congo, New York, Heinrich. All the little tiny ones adding up. That was roughly 100,000 HP damage for that whole team. For top tier, that's a lot of damage. So that was a lot of spotting that they were affected by. Let's be honest. Now, in terms of final score, we still made 271. And credits, and a little bit of ship and commander XP. So not a bad score for Back to the Basics.